Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Going to spend some time with Daven Michaels, who I consider one of the most brilliant thinkers out there in the arena of outsourcing and effective time management and those very important, crucial issues in our economy today. Daven is a best-selling author, and he's also the CEO of 123employee.com. Welcome to the program, as always, Daven. Love having you on.
Hey, Kevin. Good morning. Great to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Real quickly, fill in the gap of the Daven Michaels story real quick.
The Daven Michaels story, sure.
Yeah.
Well, for our listeners out there who haven't heard of me yet, I'm CEO of 123 Employee. We're the premier outsourcing centers in the Philippines. We have hundreds and hundreds of employees on 3 continents. We work with entrepreneurs all over the globe and some of the biggest thought leaders on the planet. We help them do their internet marketing, their social media, their telemarketing, their back office tasks, all the busy stuff in their business, so they can focus on the income-generating activities in their business and the things that really juice them. And it's great to be on the show this morning, Kev. Thanks for having me.
Your guest today.
Yeah, our guest today is Eric Hannan, and I'm super excited to have Eric because Eric comes from our world. He comes from the entrepreneur world, and you don't see this too often, a guy with a successful small business that gets snatched up by a big company, and so this should be an interesting story. And Eric is with iBank, and iBank actually calls themselves the largest dating service for small business loans. So what they do is they match up small businesses with banks, smaller banks that are hungry for the business, and it's pretty amazing. They actually process over $1.7 billion per month in loan requests, which is pretty huge. So it's great to have Eric on the show. Eric, you there?
I am here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Eric,
yeah.
Give me the elevator speech, if you will, for your company real quick.
Well, Daven did a pretty good job. We consider ourselves America's largest dating service when it comes to finding money. Now, we do a variety of services. We aim to be the virtual CFO for small business owners, 20 employees and less. Because as Daven said, small business owners are very good at their craft, whatever it is they do. But managing the back end of their business, handling the books, business plans, etc., looking for funding, it's not typically one of their strengths. So that's where we come into play, and our main driver is finding funding. We've got over 200 lenders on our network, and it's extremely effective to save time and money for small businesses because they really don't know where to go right now because lending's gotten really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I can really relate to that one, Eric, and I hate to say this, but we had a deal on the table I guess it was earlier this year, and we had we basically, the door was open. We were going to buy another outsourcing company. It would have doubled our size. It was a ridiculously great deal, and I was so busy running my company, and I'm a leverage guy. I was so busy running my company that I got too busy to do the deal, and now the company has doubled, almost tripled in size in just the last 6 months alone, and the deal's off the table, you know, and that's just because I didn't have a guy like you to outsource this type of business to. So, I mean, this is really, really huge. So here's a question for you, Eric. I know that you process $1.7 billion, dollars worth of applications, but I'm curious, how much gets closed?
Well, and that's a great question. We don't have that answer. And the reason is we don't want to have that answer. We're the dating service. That's like asking eHarmony how many people get married. However, we have a 100% in getting business owners with the right type of lender, and then how we differentiate with our with our competitors is we don't match them up and say good luck to you. Here's a date. It's up to you. What we do is if somebody is not fundable or if they're running into challenges, if they don't get funded right away, we work with them on the back end, finding out with our client services. It's basically customer service on steroids. Finding out what challenges they're running into. Maybe they need to get a business plan, outsource their bookkeeping. Whatever's holding them back, we're going to analyze their business and find out what they're missing in getting that funding. And what we found is that business owners, a lot of them are actually very fundable. They're just going to the wrong lending sources. They're going to traditional banks. The big wigs, as far as the banking industry, have really tightened up their criteria. So business owners are really disillusioned. They don't think that they're in a fundable situation. And a lot of what we do is give them hope by just explaining to them how to get the funding. And it's a pretty basic thing that lenders are looking for. They just want to know, how am I going to get paid back?
Eric, real quickly, what's your website? I want to make sure the listener has that.
It's ibank.com, ibank.com.
Next question, Daven.
Yeah, absolutely. So, question for you. We always try to take a look at the business profile, Eric. And as you know, I'm the outsourcing guy, so hundreds of our employees are overseas. I'm just curious, how big is your customer service center? Is it all in the U.S.? Is some of it overseas?
Yeah, we're all in the U.S. We have about 20 customer service reps in-house, and that's customer service / sales. Mm-hmm. But we also have just launched a virtual model because one of the things, our mission is to make small business happen. And part of that is we've got a big heart for putting people back to work in this country, or just in general. So one of the things that we've launched is the accessibility for people to work and do customer service with us from their home anywhere in the nation. So we've got people in Atlanta, in Michigan, in South Carolina doing customer service from their home.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Where are you corporately located?
Orange County, California.
Okay, nice and warm out there. Go ahead, Daven.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Eric, here's a question for that I'm sure businesses out there are thinking, especially our listeners. When does it make sense to start going after capital? When does it make sense to start, forming an alliance with a bank?
Well, the best time to look for funding is when you don't really need it. And a good analogy, and a good analogy with that that I like to use is think of when you're car shopping. When your car breaks down, you're in panic mode, and you're not going to get a very good deal. Conversely, if you don't need a new car, but you know that it's coming around the corner, that's the best time. I bought a new car about a year and a half ago, and I saved $4,500 because I didn't have a rush to do it, and I called 19 different dealerships in Southern California that had the car I wanted, and I leveraged the different dealerships against each other to get the best rates and terms. And getting funding for small businesses is very similar. A lot of business owners, if they go to their local bank, they're not getting the best rates and terms and the most competitive on the market. So what I educate small businesses is that's great if you want to stay locally. However, make sure that you're contacting banks all over the nation, get the best rates and terms, and just call the next one and say, this is the best offer on the table. What can you do to beat it? And they call the next one and do the same thing until you've got the best rate and term. Go back to your local bank and say, hey, we've had a relationship for 15 years. I'd love to stay with you, but I need you to match this rate. And that way you can get the best of both worlds.
Gentlemen, thanks so much. Great segment. Eric Hannan, he's with a company called iBank, ibank.com. And, of course, Daven Michaels, you can hear him weekly right here on The Price of Business. You can also find his best-selling books over at Amazon.com. But he's easiest to be found at 123employee.com. Thanks to both of you, gentlemen. Great stuff. All right, when we come back,
thanks, guys.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. Make sure while you're there, you like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.